All right, guys, so I think this might be my last one for the day. This was kind of unplanned, but I'm robbing some topics from an old video that was like an hour long that a lot of people didn't watch. Yeah, 348 fucking views. Anyway, so, you know, I preach cylinder support system all over this fucking channel, right? I've said it for the longest time. It makes no sense to go with sleeves when, you know, CSS is out there getting, you know, huge numbers as well. It's not uncommon to see 1,000 horsepower out of a cylinder support system engine block. Right. And it only costs, you know, the cost effectiveness is great. I mean, on the low end, you're paying 350. On the high end, you're paying 450 plus O-rings or whatnot. But you're still astronomically cheaper than what a Dart resleeve or whatnot is going to cost you. All right. So after all this time, you know, I've also said a lot about no matter how well built your engine is, you know, you still can't rule out a failure. No such thing as a bulletproof engine. Things can and will fail eventually. So, you know, I daily drove a built turbo car for multiple years, and then not long after I sold it, it blew up on the guy. And it wasn't because of me like, oh, I knew it was near the end of his life and I'm trying to offload it real quick. I didn't want to sell my car, but I did, and it ended up blowing up on the guy. But so it just, you never exactly know when it's going to be. Like I just said in another upload earlier, you have like a finite amount of heartbeats before your heart fails. Same thing with your engine. You have a finite amount of hits before something gives way. All right. So now the reason why I would say, you know, the reason why I would say sleeves versus cylinder support system actually came from Kenny over Humble Performance in his 1,000 horsepower all-wheel drive case swap car, right? Now, he threw it out there, and I kind of felt like a dummy for not realizing that myself, that if you're going to have a dedicated track car, right, like you're going to have a car that's going to be making fucking high-ass power as you be on the track, you know, the potential for failure is much higher than a normally driven car around, right? Or a car that only gets out on the weekends and pulls in the road and the highway every once in a while. So, the fact that he's, you know, launching his car on a regular basis, this high-end track use all the time, cylinders, when you resleeve a block, each cylinder is a separate, you know, cylinder sleeve. It's a separate liner. It's not just, you know, the block, where CSS is just modifying and reinforcing the stock sleeves that are mated to the engine block as one piece versus the aftermarket sleeves that slide into place, right? So if you throw a fucking rod, you know, the chances of hitting that reinforced cylinder and containing instead of launching all the way through the block are a lot higher. So if you got a CSS block and you throw a rod and it chunks up a fucking cylinder, you got to throw away that whole block. You got to get another block. It is what it is. Versus you having a sleeve block where you chunk up one of the cylinders, you can pop out that one individual sleeve or two individual sleeves, get those two new liners and throw them in there, and you're good to go again. So all this time I've talked about CSS being the way I would go, and it still remains to this day until I ever get to the point where I'm running like a race car for real, and I just don't see it anytime near in the future. Then, you know, CSS would be the way for me to go. But if you are trying to make a dedicated, super-powered race car, then definitely consider aftermarket sleeves versus CSS. Now, I know this isn't one of those things that's going to affect most of the people's decision to watch my channel on a regular, but I thought I would be fair and throw the information out there for those people that are considering high horsepower builds. All right, guys, so social media links are in the description down below if you want to talk to me for anything. And peace. Thanks for watching.